So if you're just joining us, welcome to the British Mini Bikes here at Fulbeck for the 6th round of the championship. And the pit bike stock 160 about to get underway, where Michael Farrad is on pole position from Alex Thurston, Ricky Tarrant, Jamie Callum, Andy Shim, of course, who we spoke to earlier. He's 5th on the grid from John Buckle, Jake Whittaker, Matt Cox, Phil Dickens, Nathan Summers, Mikey Schuker, Neil Turner taking us down to 12th place. And we have Liam Greeland, Jack Robinson, Luke Beard in 15th place. And our final 3 riders on the grid, Mike Rose, William Hodgson and Carl Turner in 18th place. Pit bike stock 160 Group B is about to get underway. There's a wait on the line for the flag to drop, although I think there is a rider in trouble, but the flag drops and away they go. And Vincenzo Rizzo getting away well, but Paul Ward gets the drive into the first corner. And Paul Ward, your early leader as they go into the top hairpin. John Buckle, Andy Shim, Jake Whittaker all getting away well. And here they come back down to the bus stop for the first time. Oh, and down the inside goes Andy Shim into 3rd place, into the bus stop, gets past number 11, Jake Whittaker. And that is a very difficult part of the track to make a pass, so good work there from Andy Shim, who we spoke to earlier, our celebrity star, of course, who starred in This Is England. And promoting, of course, Shimmy TV. He's gone through to 3rd with a very brave move down the inside. And it looks like Vincenzo Rizzo, who didn't get away too well, is right behind him in 4th place.
We'll keep an eye on the lap times. Shimmy was running yesterday. He was running around, well, low 50 seconds, but I think 50.3 was his best time this morning. He just closed up on John Buckle. So if Paul Ward can't get away too far at the front, I think...
Rizzo's down. On the first corner.
That was a big off. Yeah, that's Vincenzo Rizzo. That was a big off at the end.
So Vincenzo Rizzo getting back on the bike. He went off into the tie barrier at the top hairpin. Looks like he's all right. Paul Ward is your early race leader and looking very strong at the front, trying to pull away from the chasing pack, where the battle is on for 2nd place between John Buckle, there we see him, and Andy Shim right on his rear wheel. So our celebrity guest in 3rd, trying to close up on Buckle in 2nd place as they make their way back towards the finish line. Number 14 charging through past the finish line.
He's Paul in Ward. His slipstream. He's moved to the inside.
So Andy Shim goes...
Oh, touched elbows there.
Very, very close move here. And look at this, though. John Buckle was not giving up there. He was not going to give that 2nd place up lightly. And Andy Shim through to 2nd. We saw him lift the visor momentarily to, I think, might have got some air in there possibly. And Paul Ward leading the race now by 1.5 seconds, although Andy Shim is on the move in 2nd, right on his tail, John Buckle. This looks like a very entertaining final few laps here in the 160 Group B that could be in store.
Yeah, Paul's lapping at 50.8 at the moment, and I said Andy was running at 50.3 this morning, so if Andy can keep that pace that he had this morning, he can probably reel him in. He's got 9 laps to go, so let's see how he gets on.
Paul Ward goes charging down the straight into the top corner. Andy Shim in 2nd, John Buckle, Jake Whittaker, Neil Turner, Matt Cox. And there we see number 51, Paul Dickens in 7th place from Mikey Schuker. Nathan Summers having a look down the inside into the top hairpin.
And that last lap from Andy, that was a 50.6 from Andy, and Paul's running at 50.7, so you're definitely catching him.
This battle just on the edge of the top 10, making its way through the bus. Oh, as one of our riders gets it wrong, I think that might possibly have been Nathan Summers. Ran onto the grass, but didn't lose much time. The leaders, meanwhile, making their way back towards the finish, and with just 8 laps to go in this race, this looks like it's going to be close. Paul Ward goes through, and Andy Shim is starting to close up. The gap has gone down to 0.8 of a second. John Buckle left behind in 3rd. There we see Ward, our race leader, and Andy Shim really closing up on Paul Ward, under braking into the top hairpin. Ward pulls away slightly on the exit. They make their way down towards bus stop, and Andy Shim is catching up all the time. So Paul Ward is really going to have to work hard in these closing few laps, but of course it's easy enough catching up, but another thing passing. So let's see what Andy Shim can do, because he's closing up all the time on Paul Ward, who has led pretty much the entire race.
Right on his tail now.
Here they come into the top corner. Andy Shim now right on the rear wheel of the race leader Paul Ward. Here they come, round the final few corners. Oh, but Ward blocks him on the exit.
He made a mistake there. He should have stayed behind him and got him down the straight.
So Andy Shim a little bit too close there to Paul Ward and was bulked on the exit of the first corner. John Buckle a little bit further behind in third. But the battle now well and truly on for the lead, and it looks like Vincenzo Rizzo is out of the race a bit further down as they go into bus stop. And Andy Shim now shadowing the rear wheel. Another rider in trouble here, number 710, Matt Cox, who was in 6th place. As our leaders make their way around the final few corners, and let's see what Andy Shim could do. Oh, he goes through into the lead, nips through the inside. Great move there from Andy Shim out of nowhere. Gets past Paul Ward, and as they make their way back towards the straight, Andy Shim is your new race leader, number 622. And if you weren't watching the broadcast earlier, you might not have seen the interview, but number 622, if you've seen This Is England before, this is Milky from This Is England. He's leading the race at the moment, and also promoting his own channel, Shimmy TV, in the best possible way. He's really enjoying the mini bikes. And Paul Ward, one of our regulars, of course.
But John's not letting him go, is he? John's
He's not letting him go.
On the tail of Paul now.
So one or two riders in trouble. Liam Greenland has dropped down the field. Looks like Vincenzo Rizzo retiring from the race. We saw him cruising through on the previous lap. This battle for the lead, though, is far from over, because John Buckle's in there as well in 3rd place, just shadowing in that 3rd position, as Andy Shim trying to break away now as they go around the final few corners. And Shimmy coming back towards the finish. So Andy Shim, your race leader. Paul Ward in 2nd place. John Buckle, though, now is starting to close up in 3rd as they go into the top corner, and Buckle has a little look down the inside of Paul Ward in 2nd place, but doesn't quite get through. In the meantime, Shim trying to pull away as they go through into the bus stop. Gets back on the power and has a small gap, 0.7 of a second from Paul Ward in 2nd place, who's coming under a lot of pressure now from John Buckle in 3rd place. Andy Shim, incidentally, with the fastest lap of the race, 50.616. And there he goes, your race leader, number 622, Andy Shim, into the final few corners, making his way back through to complete another lap. But the battle on for 2nd place now, as John Buckle really starting to close up on Paul Ward in 2nd. Here they come down the straight. And Paul Ward has got the drive, but Buckle, now is he close enough to go for that braking manoeuvre into the top corner? Oh, he's going to give it a go, but not quite close enough to go for the lead. Or go for 2nd, I should say, because Andy Shim is your race leader. Andy Shim 1.1 seconds the gap, but the battle now on for 2nd place. Very, very close indeed between Paul Ward and John Buckle.
I think Andy just needs to settle down now. He's got how many laps to go? 3 laps to go. He just needs to settle down, settle in. I've given him a quick signal to look at the gap behind him, so he just doesn't need to push too hard now. He's the pace on those two behind him. If they keep battling, he's just going to pull away. He's lapping at the moment at 51.3. So he can push a little bit harder if he wants to, but I think he needs to just settle in now.
Andy Shim, we just saw him glancing over his shoulder a moment ago, and he's actually starting to close up on Mark Hancock, who's currently in 15th place. I think Shim just seeing how far ahead he was, and the gap going down now to 0.9 of a second. So Andy Shim is not pulling away at the moment, and it looks like Paul Ward is being pushed on somewhat by Buckle. Here's the battle between Jake Whittaker and Neil Turner into the top corner. Turner goes down the inside of Whittaker, but doesn't quite make the move stick. And very, very close indeed here for 4th place between Jake Whittaker and Neil Turner. Here they come down towards the bus stop, and it looks like Whittaker's got the line on the outside. Turner just shadowing. Here they come into the chicane section, one of the most technical parts of the track, closing laps of the race now. And Neil Turner all over the back of Jake Whittaker. Had such a good start. Still running strongly, however, in 4th position. Back at the front, though, we've just seen the leaders going through past the finish line, and Paul Ward is starting to close up on Andy Shim in these closing stage. They're through into the top corner.
Tiring.
Andy Shim still leads the race, but as you can see, Paul Ward is closing up. There's that battle for 4th place as Whittaker starts to pull away now from Neil Turner. But Andy Shim leading the race. Now the gap has gone down though to 0.4 of a second as one of our local planes, of course, are in airbase country flying over. Here we go. We're just waiting for Andy Shim to come back towards the finish line. We have got 1 lap to go. Next time round, 1 or 2 riders further down the field having some trouble there. But here come the leaders, and Andy Shim is coming under a lot of pressure from Paul Ward. They have to, well, Andy Shim bulking Paul down the inside to go past the back markers, but Paul Ward goes down the inside of Andrew Shim on the final lap. Oh, and out of nowhere goes John Buckle into second place. So Andy Shim, I don't know if he's got some sort of problems, but he's lost a bit of time, but he's now fighting back. They're closing up on the back markers. Now it could be Mark Hancock in front there, just bulking them slightly on the chicane on the final lap, but a great move there from Paul Ward on the final lap. Closing back up on Andy Shim. They come back towards the finish. But this race is far from over as John Buckle has a look now. They've left Andy Shim behind in third place. He gets bulked by the back marker. So it looks like Shim out of contention. It's going to be a fight now between Paul Ward and John Buckle down to the finish line. Here they come, and it's a drag race to the line. But Paul Ward takes the checkered flag from John Buckle in second place. Andy Shim looks a little dejected crossing the line in third place, but really gave it a good go.
He tried there, didn't he? He really did try there.
And so great ride there, has to be said, from Paul Ward to fight his way back through. Andy Shim.
That was an awesome ride, Paul. Absolutely fantastic. And John as well. You know, John, they gapped John a little bit in the middle of the race, and he just picked him up. And what a fantastic race that was, right down to the last lap.
And Andy Shim fading to third place. He looked a little dejected when he crossed the line. You can see the smile under the helmet. I think he enjoyed that one.
I think he just got a little bit tired towards the last couple of laps because he was pushing on. And he managed to gap him a little bit, maybe let off just slightly. But yeah, what a cracking race. Yeah, we're still on. Do you want your hat back? No, it's mine. Yeah, no, it's mine. I ain't getting it back, mate. Right, we're going to bring Chris in now. Right then, I'll interview Chris then. Right, Chris, scooters. You've come from, I've spoke on a commentary about when you're out racing, and I mentioned in the past that you've raced scooters. I know you and I had a bit of a chat on for our radio show a couple of years ago. Just remind me and the people watching, you know, where you come from and what you've done and how you've adapted that experience into pit bikes.
Yeah, I raced scooters probably for about 5 years, 5-6 years before coming over here. Yeah, it was good. But there was something different about that paddock that this paddock just has heaps of. Obviously, my engine on the scooters was banned on a technicality. So I ended up looking for the different race series, and I spoke to Alan, and he said, yeah, bring the scooter along, have a go. So I brought the scooter along, and the paddock just welcomed me with open arms. It's just a big family here. It's just amazing. And then I was getting better with the scooter, and then James Concannon then sold me his pit bike, bought that, and it was like just getting onto a Rolls Royce, you know, from the scooter, because that was hard work to ride. And the pit bike is just absolutely amazing. As an example, this year I'd done a top-end rebuild on the pit bike, and it worked out cheaper than the single piston for the scooter.
Yeah, top-end rebuild is like 40 quid, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, a piston for the scooter was £70, you know, and it's just chalk and cheese. Yeah. You know, it's just amazing.
And yeah, I mean, bear in mind, I'm useless on the spanners. I've got a very good friend, Carl, who does that kind of stuff. Because I just mess it up. Yeah. but yeah, I know with these engines, you really have to do a rebuild maybe once a year. You know, and some lads just run this. I mean, I've run an engine for 2 seasons without doing a top end rebuild, and it still kept on going. Yeah. So you come on to pit bike, and I went out with you yesterday. I went out for a cheeky session with the veterans, and I thought, so go have a little blast the old boys. Mate, I couldn't catch you. Yeah. I could not catch it. I was like, I mean, bear in mind, you got a 155 in yours. Yeah. And so you definitely had a leg to me down the straight. Yeah. But I couldn't catch it. I was like, mate, he's going. Yeah. And I mean, I got down to 49s, low 50s yesterday. Yeah. I mean, where were you hitting?
Yeah, yesterday I got down to a 50.2, and I just seemed to go backwards then. I was messing with gearing and things like that, trying to find the sweet spot. even this morning, the quickest time I'd done this morning warm it was 51.7.
What gear are you running?
I was running 16.38, but I've gone back to what I had in the very first couple of sessions that I had here, which was a 16.40, and she sings back on the pace straight away, and I threw out a 49.7 then for qualifying.
Are you not topping out down the straight?
No, just got stronger springs in, and that's it. And it's just sweet. It just keeps pulling.
Awesome. Right, who's this then? Is this your sponsor, is it?
Yeah, OP Oils. Obviously helped me out with lubrications and things like that. Stage 6 and Maxi Scoot, they obviously helped me out when I was on the scooter, and that's when obviously this vest came from. Heswell Tyre and Test, they obviously helped with the maintenance of my van, although it doesn't need much, but they put it through the MOT, changed me tyres and things for me. And Mally Speedy Recovery is a local recovery service, but they go nationwide as well.
Well, thanks for giving your time up for an interview. Going to start our orders. And they are away in the Start 160 Group B Race 2. And Andy Shim has a great run down into that first corner, but John Buckle managed to keep hold of the lead. Ooh, that's straight through to second. He managed to get past. That was bike number 11, Jake Whittaker. And just coming through the bus stop now, we have John Buckle in first place, Andy Shim in third, we have Jake Whittaker in fourth. As they're coming to the final complex now, all the bikes now coming through nice and cleanly. And he's taking a nice wide line into that final complex. He was working really hard over the weekend, just trying to get this right. It's a very difficult technical part of the track. And he's got the drive on John coming down the straight, but no, he isn't close enough to get down the inside. John holds first place. And so the top 10 at the moment, we have John Buckle in first place, Andy Shim in second, Jake Whittaker is third, Nathan Summers is fourth, Neil Turner in fifth, Vincenzo Rizzo in sixth, Mike Smallbones in seventh, followed by Ricky Dixon, William Hodgson and Carl Turner rounding up the top 10. And they're already catching up to one of the back markers.
Oh, just had one of my lovely Daniil home-baked pancakes, so I'm all ready to go for the second half of the racing.
Do you feel better for that, do you?
Oh, much better, yeah.
Did it do a good job?
It's a bit of an energy boost. So that's the chocolate chip cookies giving me an energy boost now.
Did I do all right with that? The commentary bit?
Oh, excellent, yeah. I know you've got a vested interest in this bike in second place, isn't it?
It is my bike. It is my bike in second place. I think he rides it better than I do.
He didn't bend it before, did he?
No, it was just the ignition cord. I think it just snapped.
Oh! He almost collected the back marker there, was it, I think, or one of them. So John Buckle still leads Andy Shim in second position. And there he is, John Buckle, your race leader. So Andy Shim almost collided with the back marker. I think he's got through this time. Here they come back towards us, and Buckle looking good. Here he comes, and Andy Shim back on the case now in second place. Heart-stopping moment there for him.
I think Andy's definitely got his bit through his teeth. He's absolutely flat out of the little 140. He's used to riding the Gix 1000.
Of course, yeah. So Andy Shim, it's great to have him here. Of course, Matt. Of course, he's a bona fide film star. If you watch This Is England, that's his most famous role, of course, and the TV show, of course, yeah. So very famous name, and he's enjoyed himself today, isn't he?
Yeah, it's all about coming racing. You know, it doesn't matter, whether you're a film star or whether you're a professional rider, a professional driver. You know, the British Media Bikes has got a class and got a bike for anybody. And as all of our riders say, we're an open paddock, and it's all about coming down and having fun. That's all it is.
And of course, when the helmet's on, it doesn't matter who he is or what the background is. He's just another guy with a helmet on to be beaten.
I know for a fact that our boys will not give any kind of leeway whatsoever, evidently.
Well, that reminds me actually of an anecdote back in the 70s when Steve McQueen, of course, he was a famous driver come actor, and Mario Andretti was determined to absolutely beat him at Daytona because he wasn't, I quote, to be beaten by a damn actor. So I don't know if he's going to let that out on the track today. And John Buckle is certainly determined, and he can't shake off Andy Shim in second place. They go through, and this battle of a third, Neil Turner, Jake Whittaker, are they all going to get through the bus stop? Yes, they are, just about.
Oh, that is close in the mid-pack, isn't it?
This battle of a third place, incredibly close, and great riding here, of course. It'd be so easy for one of those guys to make a mistake, but all running formation.
You can't see on the camera how tight that bus stop is. It is so tight. I mean, you come in and you're not maxed out in fourth, but you're going pretty quick into that left-hander, and coming around that bus stop onto the right, it is really, really tight to get through. And on the exit as well, that left-hand kink, the curve is about 2 foot tall, and if you get it wrong, the bike just goes skyward. Make sure you keep your comments coming through on Facebook, and please like and share the stream.
Oh, as we see down the inside, Nathan Summers has a look at Neil Turner. This could allow Mike Smallbones back into it. At the front, just a bit further down there, we see our two leaders, and John Buckle is being closed on by Andy Shim. Last time around, 51.218 for Andy Shim, fastest lap of the race. But this battle of a third is still very close. Jake Whittaker, Neil Turner, Nathan Summers, Mike Smallbones, I think Vincenzo Rizzo will be looking to get involved. There's the battle for the lead though, and now Andy Shim is right on the rear wheel of John Buckle. Here they come down the straight. Buckle gets a bit of a drive down the straight, but Andy Shim is not to be shaken up and is trying to close up on Buckle. Under braking.
John has a good look over his shoulder. I don't think that's going to do any good for his aerodynamics, is it?
So Buckle gets the drive out of the corner as well as Andy Shim. Can't shake him off though. He's had a great day so far, Andy Shim, and he's looking to, think he wants to take home a victory, won't he?
Yeah, I think he's, we've got 6 laps to go.
So still.
You've got plenty of time. I think he just needs to settle in now. Just sit behind John for the next couple of laps.
Still plenty of time to go in this one as John Buckle looks over his shoulder and he can see Andy Shim this way, and that number 622 Andy Shim in second place. Oh, he has a look down the inside and comes back towards us. Andy Shim, your second place man, putting the leader all under pressure. Here they come down the straight, and Andy Shim with a great run out to the final corner, tucking in now behind John Buckle, who jinks over his shoulder. Oh, but Andy Shim down the inside. Not this time though. John Buckle shuts the door, and Andy Shim had to yield down to the first corner. Buckle had the line covered and pulls away on the exit, but Andy Shim, not to be disheartened, is going to close back up. Jake Whittaker still in third place. Oh, Andy Shim, little look down the inside there. Pit Bike Stock 160 Group B is going to go down to the wire here, and John Buckle is determined to hold on to the lead, but Andy Shim really did all he can to try and get through. Fastest lap of the race, and he went 50.929 on the previous lap, so Andy Shim really putting things out of the bag, and Shimmy in second place is now going to have another look at John Buckle down the straight. Buckle
right in the slipstream there.
So Buckle riding defensively, but it's not going to be enough. I think Andy Shim has got the line, or has he? Oh no!
Outbreak himself there.
And as we saw the shake of the wheel there from Andy Shim, Matt Pierce, the bike owner, looking very nervous there when that wobble happened in the first corner.
He knows how to ride a bike. I've got all confidence. I mean, he knows how to ride a bike. He's proved that this weekend, and as you can see, he's right back on his tail again. He hasn't let it get away. I think John's. I think he thinks he's got more space than he has.
So this is an interesting battle here, because John Buckle has been leading the entire race. Andy Shim losing out under braking last time around, but he is coming back again for another go. Gets a great run out to the final corner. Here they come down the straight. Buckle leads, Shim in second, and what's he going to do this time? Andy Shim closing up, doing exactly the same down the inside, and whoa, here they go, and an action replay of the previous one, but Andy Shim losing out slightly under braking. He's really giving it his all, closing back up into the bus stop chicane. John Buckle's got the line, but he cannot shake off Andy Shim. Jake Whittaker still a bit further down the track. There you see there, number 11 in third place. Nathan Summers, Neil Turner. But what a race here though, as Andy Shim has a little peek down the inside, try to snatch that line away from John Buckle. And like Matt says, I think sometimes Andy's not too worried about Andy Shim at the moment. Buckle, the race leader. Seems to have the race covered so far, but Andy Shim 2 laps to go this time, and again almost onto the grass here from Andy Shim. He is not giving up, and this time has he made it stick? He guides sideline, trying to get past Buckle under the exit, but John Buckle has the faster exit and takes the lead once again. Andy Shim briefly edging into the lead. Here they come back towards finish. John Buckle, your race leader. Andy Shim in second. Down the inside they go of the back marker. Last lap board is now being readied for pit bike stock 160. As again, again. Andy Shim has seen that opening that John Buckle's leaving. Now that might be interesting. He might maybe be a bit more aggressive on the last lap in that little right-hand corner.
Yeah, he's got the laser room down the straight. He just hasn't got John with the brakes.
So Andy Shim, he's been trying this move for the last 4 laps. 1 lap to go now. Can he make it stick? As again, John Buckle goes over into the middle of the track, makes Andy Shim do all the work. Here they go into the first corner. But
John's just more confident on brakes.
And perhaps Andy this time, he might be playing the long game here because he's been losing out on the exit of the corner and now sticks with him. So Andy Shim, I think, could be lining him up for a pass on this right-hand hairpin. Here they come. Let's see what Andy Shim can do. But, bit of a tactical move there from John Buckle. I think he knew that Andy Shim was coming down the inside, guards that inside line. So Andy Shim is going to have to try something else now. Goes round the outside into the hairpin. But he can't quite make the pass stick. John Buckle holds on, and this should be enough for him. Here they come round the final corner. John Buckle crosses the line, and Andy Shim in second place. And good sporting riding from those two. Gets a pat on the back from the runner-up, Andy Shim. Fantastic race there in pit bike stock 160 as John Buckle had to withstand an awful lot of pressure there from Andy Shim in second place. And very congratulatory towards each other. But well done to John Buckle for winning the race. Fantastic riding there from Andy Shim in second place. Bit unlucky not to take the checkered flag. Jake Whittaker, Nathan Summers, Neil Turner, Mike Smallbones, Phil Dickens running up down to 7th place. Then we have Jack Robinson. And there's number 224, William Hodgson, crossing the line in 9th place. Carl Turner will round out the top 10, just ahead of Luke Beard, who settles for 11th place.